Greg?
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey, man.
Good, how you doing?
Good. Hey, we were talking about your buddy Dane Cook earlier this morning.
Uh-huh.
And did you happen to see, I forgot what magazine it was, but the magazine cover, the Jessica Simpson story?
Yeah, just the rich get richer, huh?
Yeah, how about that?
It just never ends for that bastard.
Wow. So it's true as much as you know, eh?
Well, as much as I know, I don't know. I'm not really privy to his private life, but it certainly seems like there's a possibility.
Well, if I was him, I'd be screaming it from the rooftops, man.
Well,
yeah.
That's a nice lay right there.
That's definitely definitely a good score.
as Greg may or may not know, though, there were a couple of complications regarding that. One, I guess Dane supposedly has some live-in girlfriend. Do you know if that's still going on?
I don't know. Actually, I really don't know. Dane is too busy counting his money to really be, just screwing around, I would think.
Yeah, he is just kicking ass, isn't he?
Yeah.
That Retaliation record sold 1 million copies.
Yeah. This is just going to serve to, if this is true, which I'm sure it is, it's going to even serve to raise his profile even more.
Yeah, it's going to be... He's going to be all Dane all the time.
That's right. He's going to become the big guy in town.
Enough Dane.
Yeah, enough of this Dane.
No, I like it.
We love
you're not 17-year-old girls stopping me on the street asking me what Dane's like. At least you're guys around my age asking me. It's a twist on the usual thing.
Hey, we keep hearing. We talked to Dave Attell last week. He was in town, and he was talking about the Insomniac tour, and we saw it. I mean, we thought it was fantastic. Just a great combination, the four of you. And that DVD hits the stores on April the 11th. And then Stand Up Nation. Tell us about Stand Up Nation on Comedy Central.
That's me hosting the Friday night stand-up, specials. I mean, they have this every Friday. They roll out like 2 hours of stand-up specials. A lot of them are brand new, premiering on the show this year. And I have like a half-hour show that kind of wraps around it. So it's like me hosting the stuff. We do interviews and celebrity interviews. We interview a bunch of comics. I go on the street and do a lot of field piece stuff. I do a monologue in the middle. So, we do crank out like a new 6 minutes stand-up each week. It's cool. I'm really pretty happy with it right now.
What are the, as far as Comedy Central, what are the rules involving, certain words and subject matters? I mean, it seems like Comedy Central has a lot of freedom, but we, of course, notice that after 10 o'clock, it seems that the freedom seems to increase even more. I mean, is there much in terms of...
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like, you never really know what they'll let you... I don't really know what the rules are exactly, but, you always try, and then you send something out, you're like, wow, they'll let us say that as long as we take monkey out?
Yeah.
You never know.
We're talking to Greg Giraldo, and again, Friday nights, 9 o'clock, Comedy Central. And then Dave Attell's Insomniac Tour. Those DVDs are out April the 11th. Hey, before we had you on, day before yesterday and yesterday, we were playing the infamous Dreamcatcher bit. Dreammaker, the woman who was sleeping with that 15-year-old guy, the school teacher,
yeah.
Deborah LaFay. Man, she is absolutely so hot.
Yeah, weird, huh?
And it's funny, because we talk about that sometimes, too, and we've kind of taken the stand that this guy's not hurt. He was getting off. His cousin was jealous and told on him. But and we've never taken one bit of heat. Nobody's ever emailed in and said, "Oh, you guys are so insensitive." And we noticed that you were getting quite a few chuckles off it too. Yeah,
pretty much everyone seems to agree because it's true. On the other hand, and this is what's kind of getting creepy about our culture is that once this stuff gets out there, it's hard to imagine women being really filthy. For the most part, you hear any kind of real crazy molestation stories. It's rarely women. But since those stories have been breaking, it's really getting to be a creepy trend, which seems to be trending younger. You know what I mean? And there is a threshold at some point.
That's disgusting. Well, just the other night though, I saw another teacher. It was just actually 2 nights ago, who was doing the same thing as Deborah LaFave with I think this was a 13-year-old boy she was molesting. interesting. But we'll see what happens because this teacher is gross.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's ugly, she's fat, she's homely. And you wait and see if they don't send her up the river for 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the difference. If you're ugly, it sucks. And
Yeah.
it was a 13-year-old kid, and they did it like 28 times in a week.
Wow.
Which I guess for a 13-year-old kid, I guess probably 20 minutes total, but
Yeah.
still seems wrong.
And was that with the ugly chick?
Yeah, with the ugly chick,
So the ugly chick, in other words, never gets it whatsoever. So she finds a 13-year-old who never gets it either.
You got to feel bad for any guy that she might have broken up with, though. Now is banging a 13-year-old.
Yeah, well, that kid's going to be warped because when he gets a few more years on him, he's going to realize how ugly she was and be all bummed out. Whereas the kid with Deborah LaFave, I mean, he has no problem. That's why I think they didn't even bother to try the case because the kid was just going to hit the stand and go, it was awesome.
But then some of them they really do, like that, what's her name, Tourneau or whatever. I mean, she was hot enough and the kid seems fine. In fact, aren't they married now? And they keep putting her in jail.
All the jail stuff is over. They're
it's over now, but they did put her in jail at least once, right, for going back to him?
She was in the can for like 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean
that's, you could shoot somebody and get out in less than 6 years.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Now, that guy was like 12 years old, and he was nailing her. And, I mean, the amazing thing about that kid is, like, how did this guy get to be such a Don Juan in bed that this 35-year-old woman who's halfway hot absolutely can't get enough?
Yeah, some kids are prodigies.
I always feel bad for the husbands, though, because they always stand out as total losers.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's sorry. I'm seeing someone else. He's 12, but he just does things you can't do, It's,
exactly.
He's just got that 12-year-old physique that's so much more appealing than your bloated, hairy.
These guys must end up in therapy, all of them.
Yeah. I love the idea of a 12-year-old sexual prodigy. I mean, there probably is such a thing. Maybe the guy is. Can you believe, by the way, speaking of, when turning the other foot on that, I cannot get over all these old men who go online and get busted by these 14-year-old dudes who work for law enforcement, sheriff's departments, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you be a 40-year-old guy online looking for a 14-year-old and not think it's going to be some sheriff? They're busting somebody every 2 minutes.
I know. First of all, I always wonder, does it ever work? Because it seems like I don't know how many of these guys think that they're the special, like they're the fat, bloated 50-year-old pervert that really is getting the 1 out of 5 trillion girls. I mean, the whole thing is just so sick and twisted. But on top of that, the last guy was an official at the Homeland Security Department. That's all it took. The guys who are protecting us against terrorism can't crack, Dateline NBC.
Great point.
Did you happen to see those turds on Dateline NBC?
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
Well, I got to tell you something absolutely horrifying.
I've always said those guys should be chemically castrated, or how many chances do you have to get? I mean, it's clear that they can't. I love the guy that shows up, to molest a 12-year-old boy or whatever, and then they bust him, and he shows up the next day somewhere else.
Yeah, at McDonald's, he was there the next day. I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
What I was going to tell you that just blew our minds. We started talking to him. We had an interview with this organization called Perverted Justice, and they do exactly what these sheriffs do. They go trolling as 14-year-olds online, and they just nail people, turn them over to law enforcement. But they had dealt with that rabbi.
Oh, yeah.
And they had gotten a lot of email from this guy, which they sent over to us. So we end up in our email with 3 pictures of that rabbi's oh-so-turgid penis.
Oh, yeah. Unedited.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bummer. His sack was taut.
Yeah, you don't need to see that. That's for sure. I'll tell you, even on this MySpace stuff, you get people come on because I have that. I just started doing this MySpace a couple weeks ago, and I look, you see age, I see anything under 18. I barely even click. I barely even just respond like, thanks a lot.
How many buds do you have on MySpace?
I just started. I have about 1,500 or so.
Wow.
That basically makes me open micer level at this point.
That's right.
Stand Up Nation with Greg Giraldo airs Friday nights at 9 o'clock on Comedy Central, and then the Insomniac Tour available again. The DVD hits the stores Tuesday, April 11th. Greg, thanks so much for the time. We love your work, and we play it religiously on the air.
Yeah, you're really funny, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for having me. me.
You bet.
All right, take it easy.
Okay, man, we'll see you.
A lot of interesting sex scandals this year. The biggest one that most concerns me is we're putting these older women in jail for having sex with teenage boys. I don't know. First of all, these women should be encouraged. I don't understand the real. When it comes to, I was a teenage boy. When it comes to teenage boys, any sex that doesn't involve limping out of a rectory is pretty much A-OK in my book. There's a woman in Colorado. She's sentenced to 30 years in prison for having sex with her son's friends. 30 years in prison. Osama bin Laden is floating around out there. Michael Jackson is free to sack tickle half of Bahrain or whatever the hell he's living. Meanwhile, we're putting this dream maker behind bars. This woman is She said she just wanted to be the cool mom. Well, that's a start. I mean, remember when the cool mom was the one that brought oranges to soccer practice? She just wanted to be the cool mom. Dude, your mom is so cool. My mom would never let our friends gang her in the basement. Thank you very much, everybody. Take